Hello beautiful people, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Gianna Lian and I basically just bring you along throughout my life. As you guys can tell from the title of today's video, I am giving you guys my fall TBR. It's basically almost fall, which is kind of crazy because I feel like summer just happened. So I thought today would be perfect to share with you guys my fall TBR this year. We have quite a few physical books that I've literally been keeping specifically for spooky season and the fall vibes. To be honest, it's been really hard not to read these because I've been wanting to read them forever, but I just felt like if I just waited until fall and the spooky season, it would have just made the book so much better. But we are going to jump right into this because we have over 10 books to discuss. I don't want to waste any time. So the first book we have here is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Before I even explain to you what this book is about, can we just take a second to look at the cover? Look how beautiful this cover is. I've actually had this book for a very long time, and when I first started my reading journey, it was probably one of the first books that I added to my want to read in Goodreads, but then my thoughts changed a little bit. Before I get into my thoughts, I want to explain to you guys what this book is about. The circus arrives without warning. No announcements precede it. It is simply there, when yesterday it was not. Within the black and white striped canvas tents is an utterly unique experience full of breathtaking amazements. It is called Le Cirque de Rêves. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And it is only open at night. But behind the scenes, a fierce competition is underway. A duel between two young magicians, Celia and Marco, who have been trained since childhood expressly for this purpose by their mercurial instructors. Unbeknownst to them both, this is a game in which only one can be left standing. Amidst the high stakes, Celia and Marco soon tumble headfirst into love, setting off a domino effect of dangerous consequences and leaving the lives of everyone from the performers to the patrons hanging in the balance. So when I first heard about this book, I obviously really wanted to read it, but throughout book community, I did start hearing a little bit of mixed reviews on. A lot of people told me this book is amazing, this book is magical, this book is literally everything. But then on the other hand, a lot of people just said it wasn't worth it was too long, it was too boring, it was too slow. So I mean, I don't really know what to believe, but besides all that, it still seems absolutely perfect for fall. It seems like there's so many spooky elements in this, one being the magical circus being the biggest one. I feel like that is just perfect for spooky season, and this circus just gives like a little mysterious vibe to it. I feel like it could be so fun, and I still really want to get to this by fall. The next book I have on my fall TBR is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. I mentioned this book actually a few times in my previous videos, but I knew I had to put this on my fall TBR because it just screams fall. Everything about this book just screams fall to me, and I have no idea why. I feel like mostly because this book is supposed to be so dark that I feel like it just gives those fall gloomy vibes. I don't know. I did explain this in my last video, but basically this book is about our main character, Patrick Bateman, and we are basically deep inside his mind as he is a psychopath. So we get to know his thoughts, his actions, and basically his day-to-day life as a psychopath, and basically how he's living a double life of pretending to be normal. When it comes to fall, I think of scary movies and everything kind of scary, and this book just feels very scary, gives me this horror vibe to it. I'm so happy that spooky season has come up, fall is here, and I can finally dive into this book. The next book I have is Finley, Donovan is Killing It by Elle Cosimano. I think I pronounced that right. This book is actually a part of a 3-book series. This is the first one. Here's the other 2. I'm also pretty sure that the 3rd book just released. Don't quote me on that. And once again, I've also had this book since my birthday in June, but I had to wait for the spooky season because who doesn't love a cozy mystery during fall? As for what it's about, Finley Donovan is killing it, except she's really not. As a stressed-out single mom of 2 and a struggling novelist, Finley finds her life in chaos. When Finley is overheard discussing the plot of her new suspense novel with her agent over lunch, she's mistaken for a contract killer and inadvertently accepts to offer to dispose of a problem husband. Finley soon discovers that crime in real life is a lot more difficult than its fictional counterpart, as she becomes tangled in a murder investigation. Once again, cozy mystery, fall, love it. This is more of like a dark, humorous mystery book that will just have you hooked from the beginning. Fast-paced, not too long. What more could you ask for? Weather's getting colder, you just want to cuddle up with a blanket and pick up a good cozy mystery. Sounds perfect to me. The next book I have is pretty popular. It is Bunny by Mona Awad, I think that's how you pronounce her name. I actually saw this book circulating in the book community a little while ago, but because fall is coming up, I have seen it reappear and become even more popular now. I have heard so many crazy things about this book. To tell you what it's about, a scholarship student who prefers the company of her dark imagination to that of most people, Samantha Heather Mackey is utterly repelled by the rest of her graduate fiction writing cohort at New England's elite Warren University, a clique of unbearably saccharine yet sinister rich girls who call each other Bunny and seem to move and speak as one. But everything changes when Samantha receives an invitation to the Bunny's Fable Smut Salon and finds herself inexplicably drawn to their front door, ditching her only friend Ava in the process. As Samantha plunges deeper and deeper into the Bunny's world and begins to take part in their monstrous experiments, the edges of reality begin to blur. Soon, her friendships with Ava and the Bunnies will be brought into deadly collision. Now, from the synopsis, this book doesn't seem so crazy and out of this world, but from some of my Goodreads friends, they have said that in this book you get transferred into a whole different world. And the book basically just leaves you thinking, what the fuck? But I think the whole clique and drama storyline just makes it so perfect for fall because school starts in the fall, you have those elements, and it just gives me fall vibes. We love a good high school drama, let's be honest. Not only that, but it's also classified as horror. I love myself a good horror book during the fall season. The next two books I have is actually a duet. I'm not sure if there's a third book, but it is One of Us is Lying and One of Us is Next by Karen M. McManus. I actually read the first book a few years ago and I remember really enjoying it, but I still haven't read the sequel to it, so I really want to get into this one this fall. This duology actually has gotten to be really popular again, especially because it is an older duet. It's a lighthearted YA mystery and it's based in high school with high school students, high school setting, all that jazz. But yeah, really recommend this duet. I also have the first book somewhere, but I honestly do not remember where I put it. The next book I have here is The Searcher by Tana French. I have actually never heard about this book or this author, but I got this book in my first ever blind date with a book. To fill you in, Cal Hooper thought a fixer-upper in a remote Irish village would be the perfect escape. After 25 years in the Chicago police force and a bruising divorce, he just wants to build a new life in a pretty spot with a good pub where nothing much happens. But when a local kid whose brother has gone missing arm twists him into investigating, Cal discovers that even in the most idyllic small town, dangerous secrets lie hidden and trouble can come calling to his door. What were my thoughts on this? This is all over the place. So basically we have a missing brother, which creates more of a suspenseful mystery. Also, from the synopsis, it seems like there is more cottage and country settings, which I love fall out in the country. It's also based in a small town, and with a small town, there's normally lots of secrets, so what could the small town possibly be hiding? You never know, you never know. Very excited to dive into this because I haven't heard any hype, haven't heard anything about this book, so I'm excited to see if it's a good one. Now that we went through all the physical books that I have on my September TBR, I do have a few books that I would like to pick up for the fall season, so I'm gonna go through those. The first one that I have is the rest of the Mindfuck series. Here's what I have left. I read the first two books and I absolutely fell in love with this series, so I really want to get to the last few before the end of fall. I don't want to give too much away about the series, so I'm just going to explain to you guys what the first one was about. We basically have our two main characters, Lana and Logan. And Lana is a deathly serial killer that's basically slowly crossing her victims off her list. Now, Logan is an FBI agent slash profiler and is basically trying to find the serial killer, which is Lana, which isn't a spoiler, that is in the synopsis itself. But what Logan doesn't realize is that he is waking up every single morning next to the serial killer herself as they are slowly falling deeper and deeper in love with each other. So basically the question is will Lana be able to stay undetected, or will her love for Logan distract her and she slips up? I cannot tell you guys how much I absolutely adore this series, and the lengths of each book are so short, which makes them absolutely perfect and fast and quick pace, and you just can't get bored of them. Honestly, I know I've said the fall season, spooky season way too many times, but this book is the perfect definition of fall. Everything about it just screams fall. Like, if you think about it, we have a serial killer and we have a cop falling in love. What could be more perfect than that? Not only that, but come on, a dark romance in fall. Chef's kiss. Literally chef's kiss. If you guys are gonna take anything away from this video, you need to read the Mindfuck series. It's my favorite series of all time. But moving along, the next book that I have that I want to pick up is The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. I actually don't know too much about this book, but from what I know from the synopsis, it sounds really good and it's a pretty popular book. To give you a little gist, we have Shay Collins, which is a receptionist, but by night, she loves true crime and she runs her own true crime website. And this whole passion for true crime started when she was almost abducted as a little kid. And there was this one case that happened back in 1977 that interests Shay, and it's actually still unsolved. But with her interest in this case, she actually runs into one of the key suspects from the case, and her name is Beth Gear. And Shay actually asked Beth if she could do an interview with her for her website. As Beth accepts this interview, Beth and Shay begin to grow closer, and Shay starts to question if there is more to Beth than she's really leading on, and if she's actually as trustworthy as she says, what secret she's hiding, did she do it, did she not? Shay is really just trying to crack the code on this unsolved case. With the cold season coming up, I knew I had to throw in a true crime sort of novel into here. I feel like this book is going to be very, very, very suspenseful, page turning, and this one is also classified as horror with paranormal elements to it, which makes it 10 times better. Moving on, the next book I have is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. Now, this book is definitely not new. This book has blown up on the internet and has become so popular. Not only that, but Riley Sager is a known author to other popular books like The Final Girl and Survive the Night and so many other ones. But what The House Across the Lake is about, we have our character Cassie Fletcher, which is a widowed actress. And recently she's gained a lot of bad press and she wanted to escape from that. So she retreats to her family lake house up in Vermont just to gain some peace and quiet. To pass some time, she finds a new hobby to spy on the glamorous couple across the lake. After an incident that happened, Cassie and Catherine, which is the girl of the couple, those two begin to grow closer and build a friendship. But as this friendship grows, Catherine suddenly just vanishes. Now Cassie is left with where did she go? And she's determined to figure out what happened to Catherine, is she still alive, and what really went down in the house across the lake. A little bit more into my thoughts, I have heard that the plot twist at the end of this book is insane. Everyone has been telling me that this is the biggest and best plot twist that they've ever read in a mystery/thriller novel. Not only that, but it is a psychological thriller, and those are personally my favorites. But with the hype of this book, I'm so excited to dive into it because I need a mystery/thriller that is gonna leave me on the edge of my seat and wanting to completely devour the book in a day or less. The next book I have is TAMPA by Alyssa Nutting. This book is also one of the ones that is popular and known, but like it did not break the internet. But what it's about is we have Celeste, and she's a 26-year-old middle school teacher. And basically us readers get to look deeper inside of Celeste's mind. And it's the story of her recounting the seduction of a 14-year-old student of hers. This one's very sexually explicit. It's definitely not light. Make sure you guys check the trigger warnings on this one. Bunch of dark humor, everything dark, and so much more. I mainly put this in my fall TBR because this one gives me major American Psycho vibe. It's just another dark, disturbing, dark humor novel that just gives me fall vibe. I've also heard how messed up this book is and how hard it is for people to actually get through it and read the whole thing. But I also read My Dark Vanessa a while ago, and I'm curious to see if it's similar, but we have a female heroine instead of it being a male teacher. I really enjoyed My Dark Vanessa, so I'm curious to see if TAMPA is similar and if I'll enjoy it just as much. I'm heating up. It's really hot in my house. The last book that I have on my September TBR for you guys is There Are No Saints Duet by Sophie Lark. This is both of the books. I actually have no idea what this is about, but I'm going to tell you the synopsis so we can both be on the same page here. So I was a little bit confused when I was reading this synopsis, which I think that's what the author intended on doing. We basically have two guys, Alistair Shaw and the narrator, which is unnamed in the synopsis, but they are both battling for the same prey, which is Mara Eldridge. Both of these characters want her as their possession, but they both have two completely different reasonings and intentions behind their wants. This is a dark, steamy serial killer romance and takes you into the mind of a twisted, crazy artist on the brink of madness. I put this on my September TBR because it gave me major The Mindfuck series vibes, and because of how much I'm loving that series, when I saw this duet and it seemed sort of similar, I definitely wanted to give it a try. I know that this is a known duet and a known author, but I haven't heard too much about it. I haven't really seen too much hype around it, but one of my really close Goodreads friends, she was actually just telling me about this duet a little while ago, and she was saying that she really enjoyed the Mindfuck series, and she picked up this duet actually because it was so similar. So she was telling me all good things about this duet, so I knew I had to include it in my fall TBR for you guys. Those are all the books that I have on my fall TBR. I feel like fall is just the perfect season to dive into all those mysteries, horror, true crime, everything dark, scary, gloomy, all those vibes. And I will for sure be letting you guys know and keeping you guys up to date with the books that I end up reading. You guys can also follow my Goodreads right here. It will also be linked down below as always, so then you guys can follow along with what books I end up reading, maybe read the same books as me, all that fun stuff. I also want to know down below what book you guys are most excited to read in the fall spooky season coming up. But with that, I am going to wrap up this video now. I really hope you guys enjoyed this fall TBR and fall book recommendations video. If you guys made it to this point of the video, I want you guys to comment down this emoji right here, especially for spooky season. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn that post bell notification on so you guys get notified every single time I upload a new video. With that, I hope you guys are having an amazing, wonderful day, and I will see you next time.